Meet Old Man Logan, Ultimate Wolverine, Jane Howlett, Captain Jim Logan, and a host of other fascinating Wolverine variants from the Marvel Multiverse. Wolverine prides himself on being the best at what he does, and his multiversal counterparts often share that same reputation. Across a myriad of realities, Wolverine remains a timeless icon, even in dystopian futures where his healing factor allows him to outlive his fellow X-Men. In some worlds, Wolverine is tormented by the ghosts of those he couldn't save, while in others, he is transformed into an unstoppable predator. Now let's dive into some of the most memorable and unusual versions of Wolverine found throughout the multiverse. From heroic saviors to terrifying monsters, we'll explore how these versions of Wolverine left their mark on their worlds. Our journey begins with Old Man Logan. In Old Man Logan's reality, the villains emerged victorious, and Wolverine played an unwitting part in their triumph. Manipulated by Mysterio's illusions, Logan was tricked into believing the X-Men were his enemies, leading to their tragic slaughter at his hands. With the world descending into the grim wastelands, an older Logan chose a quiet, reclusive life, as seen in Wolverine 2003 issue 66. Old Man Logan returned to the fight after his family was brutally murdered, seeking vengeance against the villains who destroyed his world. Another version of Old Man Logan found himself in the main Marvel universe, where he joined the X-Men and faced enemies from his own tragic past, starting in Old Man Logan 2016 issue 1. Now let's turn our attention to the days of future past Wolverine. In this dystopian timeline, the assassination of Senator Robert Kelly led to mutant-hunting sentinels, taking control of the United States, driving mutants to the brink of extinction. In the grim future depicted in Uncanny X-Men, 1963 issue 141, Wolverine was one of the last X-Men left standing. This version of Logan played a crucial role in helping the remaining X-Men send Kitty Pryde's consciousness back in time to prevent the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants from assassinating Senator Kelly. In this dark future, Colossus hurled Wolverine at a sentinel, but Logan was killed by a blast that left behind only a charred skeleton. Despite this grim fate, this Wolverine was later resurrected to lead a team of Logan variants known as the Wolverine Squad, eventually warning alternate dimensions of an impending celestial threat. Next, let's explore Weapon Omega. In the Age of Apocalypse timeline, the death of Professor X before he could form the X-Men allowed Apocalypse to seize control of the world. Using the codename Weapon X, Logan joined Magneto's X-Men, though by the time he appeared in X-Men, Alpha 1995 issue 1, he had already parted ways with the team. During a fierce battle with Cyclops, one of Apocalypse's generals, Weapon X lost his left hand while protecting Jean Grey. Later, Logan and Jean worked together to help humans organize a nuclear attack against Apocalypse. Though Logan briefly returned to the X-Men, he was eventually corrupted and became Weapon Omega, a tyrannical figure resembling Apocalypse, responsible for countless deaths. After Jean helped him reclaim his humanity, Logan set out to hunt down the mutants who had been part of his oppressive regime. Now, let's move on to the Ultimate Wolverine. In the original Ultimate Universe, Wolverine and the X-Men were reimagined as younger heroes just beginning their journeys in Ultimate X-Men 2001 issue 1. Much like his main Marvel counterpart, Ultimate Wolverine served alongside Nick Fury in World War II before becoming part of the Weapon X project. After escaping Weapon X, he joined Magneto's Brotherhood with a mission to infiltrate the X-Men and assassinate Professor X. Despite leaving Cyclops for dead in the Savage Land, Wolverine ultimately rejected Magneto's cause and fully embraced the ideals of the X-Men. When Magneto unleashed his final assault on humanity in Ultimatum 2008, Wolverine gave his life trying to stop him, only to be reduced to a smoldering adamantium skeleton by Eric. Now let's explore Wolverine, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. In an alternate reality where Logan joined S.H.I.E.L.D. instead of the X-Men, he became one of mutant kind's most influential protectors, as seen in What If 1989 issue 7. After eliminating one of Hydra's life model decoys, Logan caught the attention of Nick Fury, who recruited him to help take down Hydra and AIM. Following Fury's assassination by a clone of Baron von Strucker, Logan took over as the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. From this powerful role, he defended mutants by dismantling plans to restart the Sentinel program and opposing anti-mutant legislation. Although he never became an X-Man, this version of Wolverine turned Professor X's vision of peaceful coexistence between humans and mutants into a reality. Have you heard of Jane Howlett? In an effort to stop Onslaught from absorbing the Phoenix Force, One World's Jean Grey gathered a team of Wolverine variants from across the multiverse in Weapon X-Men 2024 Issue 1. Among these variants was Jane Howlett, a woman born into a wealthy family in the late 1800s. Thomas Logan, the Howlett's groundskeeper, murdered Jane's parents in a bid to steal their fortune, only for Jane to unleash her claws for the first time and kill him. With her family's wealth now hers, Jane embraced a life of adventure, embarking on daring missions such as hunting a Wendigo alongside Ulysses Bloodstone. After joining the team of alternate reality Wolverines, Jane played a key role in stopping Onslaught before returning to her own world. Now let's talk about Zombie Wolverine. Despite his regenerative powers, Wolverine fell victim to the Marvel Zombies outbreak in Ultimate Fantastic Four 2003 issue 22. When Logan was bitten by zombified versions of Captain America and Hawkeye, the virus overwhelmed his healing factor, leaving him with an insatiable hunger for human flesh. As part of a group of zombified heroes, Logan participated in the extremely gruesome attack on the Silver Surfer and Galactus, consuming them and gaining a portion of their cosmic abilities. After exploring the universe as an undead predator, Zombie Wolverine returned to Earth, only to be transported to another dimension. This version of Logan eventually joined the Weapon X-Men and was exiled to a plant-based reality where his hunger was rendered useless. Now let's shift focus to Wolverine Noir. In the gritty and shadowy world of Marvel Noir, Wolverine took on the identity of Captain Jim Logan, a private investigator, bootlegger, and skilled combatant who wielded swords and claw-like weapons. Debuting in Wolverine Noir 2009 Issue 1, Logan worked for Mariko Yashida while facing off against Victor Creed and his former lover, Rose O'Hara. He later started a shipping business with that world's Puck, but found himself accused of being involved in the apparent death of Jean Grey, one of the disturbed young X-Men mentored by the radical psychologist Charles Xavier. After proving his innocence, Logan teamed up with Cyclops and Angel to steal the Gem of Sidorak for the covert Agency 1, only to be arrested and imprisoned in Genosha Bay. Now let's turn to Wolverine, Lord of the Vampires. In an alternate timeline, after Storm became a vampire, Wolverine and the rest of the X-Men also fell victim to vampirism, as seen in What If 1989 Issue 24. Though Dracula's bite turned Logan into a vampire, Wolverine resisted falling under his control. Instead, he defeated Dracula and assumed the mantle of the new Lord of the Vampires. With his army of vampiric mutants, Logan ordered Juggernaut to kill Dr. Strange, who possessed the knowledge of the Montesi formula, a spell capable of eradicating all vampires. Even after his physical death, Dr. Strange's astral form survived and enlisted the Punisher to safeguard the mystical secrets of the Sanctum Sanctorum. When Wolverine witnessed the Punisher kill vampire Kitty Pryde, guilt consumed him, and Logan chose to end the vampiric plague himself by reciting the Montesi formula. Now here's an unusual one. Governor General James Howlett. In a world resembling the early 20th century, Governor General James Howlett served as the protector of the Dominion of Canada and stood among his era's greatest heroes. His partner Hercules gifted him a weapon forged from adamantine, an indestructible metal of Olympian origin, which was later bonded to Howlett's skeleton. During an expedition to Tartarus, Howlett was captured by the Savior, a brutal alternate version of Professor X, as seen in Astonishing X-Men 2004 Issue 44. Now for a concept Marvel should explore further, Nova 2099. In the dystopian reality of 2099, Wolverine lived far into the future and became the last surviving member of the Nova Corps. After losing an arm in a brutal clash with a gang of savage Hulks, Logan briefly formed a new X-Men team, as seen in Time Storm 2009 or 2099. X-Men 2009, Issue 1. To restore his healing factor, Wolverine underwent an experimental Nova Corps procedure that infused every cell in his body with the Nova Force, as depicted in Annihilation 2099-2024 Issue 1. With his arm and healing powers fully restored, Logan embraced his renewed strength to forge ahead. Wolverine took on the exoparasites responsible for the destruction of the Nova Corps, then journeyed across the galaxy to confront cosmic threats like the Null Set, followers of a deceased symbiote god. And now, how could anyone forget Old Man Phoenix? In a future dimension ruled by King Thor after Loki eradicated humanity, Wolverine bonded with the Phoenix Force, transforming into Old Man Phoenix. To prevent that bleak future, Old Man Phoenix traveled to the main Marvel universe. Disguising himself as his younger self, he began collecting and redistributing the Infinity Stones, as shown in Marvel Legacy 2017 Issue 1. Returning to his reality, Old Man Phoenix joined forces with Thor to face a colossal threat in Doctor Doom, who had grown to planet-sized proportions. Although he was temporarily killed by a variant of Mystique and the multiversal Masters of Evil, Old Man Phoenix was resurrected and became pivotal in aiding the multiversal Avengers to defeat Mephisto and his army of variants. What happens when the Maker turns Wolverine into his ultimate weapon? Ultimate Universe 2024 Issue 1 concludes with a captivating bonus story that serves as a prelude to Ultimate Wolverine. This brief yet compelling segment offers a fresh take on the infamous Weapon X program, told through the eyes of the scientists responsible for creating this perfect weapon. Spanning just 3 pages, it delivers a concise and striking narrative. And here's a quick summary for you. When the transformation was complete, the leaders of Directorate X marveled at their success, a creation so perfect it no longer resembled its origins. Only at the end, as they gave it its final designation, did the truth emerge. The man once known as Logan was gone, replaced by their ultimate weapon, the Winter Soldier, the Ultimate Wolverine.